Hey, we're going to be taking it outside today, but before we do, I'd just like to give you a little bit of a heads up on what we're actually going to be doing. I mean, I guess we could call this redneck Zen or prehistoric Zen, something like that. But we're going to be talking about tuning into your garden, getting out there at the first break of spring, and getting to learn about your land, getting to see how the sun hits, getting to see places where maybe there's still a little patch of snow, or places where it dried out first. See, this knowledge, the more you know about your piece of land, and the more in tune you get with it, the more successful a garden you can expect to grow. And our food forest is a great example to get out there and get learning. It'll be a nice change from all them snowy, horrible days we'd had lately. We're going to be doing a little bit of prehistoric Zen. You know, some of that caveman blood in us. And the point is to get in tune with your garden. That's what we're talking about with the Zen thing. See, another reason getting out in early spring like this is you don't have weeds and stuff growing, so you can actually see some of the problems that you might be facing out in the garden. We got a bamboo plant here. You know, this is supposed to be a timber bamboo, and I've had it in the ground for a good 10 years, and it's never actually got big. I mean, it was a bit of an experiment. They said it probably shouldn't grow here. It continues to grow, but you know, just never gets big, so we can enjoy it. And it does have some edible shoots. Don't see any coming up quite yet. We want to look at some of our trees. This one's a mountain ash. It does get an edible fruit on it. It's looks like, you know, we can feel the flexibility in the branches, so we can feel that there's life. You can even see how it's just slightly different colored. You come over here and we can see our medlar tree. The fruit on this is actually pretty good. There's some that didn't get picked. You can see they're not great big. They got a lot of seeds and sort of some mush in them. These ones aren't good now. They've started to kind of rot, but they are a good little treat. We do see some of the branch tips here starting to come a little bit alive. There's lots of leaves and leaf litter. I don't really worry about it. It's kind of a chop and drop type thing. Just like to let those leaves build that soil. I mean, this is sort of a natural forest out here, the way we do things. And you can see some of our fruit trees and stuff that are mingled in here. And we have a atrium tree. And here's some curious little hybrids from dropped fruit. You know, they're not a store-bought thing. They're actually wild, but you can see we got lots of buds. Lots of buds coming on this. It ends up being kind of a plum apricot natural cross. And they're actually pretty good. You can just see, look at all those blossoms getting ready, all those buds getting ready to blossom. This will be beautiful in a few more weeks. You have some wild onions out here. They're actually getting a pretty good start on the growing season. I mean, they're a domestic onion, but they're growing wild out here in the food forest. I don't completely know how these ones got here. They walked. There's another patch right there. Find onions to be a great addition for the food forest. Here's some that I planted around a small peach tree. We get some fruit out of this, you know, in the next few years. But see, I planted some onions around the base here. They're supposed to help repel insects and stuff. I can't tell you 100% that works, but you know, we do have quite a few onions out here that we can kind of forage from, you know, and they're so easy and take so little space that onions are just a great perennial to put in all over the place. Here's a tree purchase from last year. Feels flexible still, but don't know if it made it or not. It was a fruiting quince tree, and I'm hoping to get one of them to grow here, but I've lost a couple over the years. But so we're hopeful that that one would pull through for us. Teeny acquire from last year. This was a persimmon. It's dead. Okay, so we know we have that space available for something else. Here's our little Chipotle. It's been in the ground several years. It got a fruit off of it once, but it should start coming into production soon. Sorry about all the birds are cackling away and stuff. You know, it's funny, they hear me out here. I can be out here working and they're pretty good, but they hear me talking and then they all want to chime in and say, look at me, look at me. You know, but it is what it is. Like I say, part of this is take in the Zen. You know, look at the bark. And, you know, even filling the bark and stuff. And you can see how this branch is slightly different colored. And that's telling us that it knows spring's is on its way. And it's getting some buds. You know, this is actually a really nice little pear tree. Crazy plum tree. Oh, she's starting to get lots of buds. Yep, we'll have a show of flowers before too long. Our arbor looks like it held up through the winter and is doing pretty darn good. You know, last year I grew a few cucumbers and stuff off of it, and I think we're going to try some hardy kiwis. See if we can't get them growing up this. This would be a great place for them to get a start. I'm going to get some of them cattails out of here this spring too. You know, they kind of take over and they fill the pond in, and that's not really what I want with this situation. They are edible. You can make some things and eat the roots and stuff, and from what I understand, they were an important part of the Native American diets, but I don't know. Maybe we'll cook up a mess and see how they taste. You can see the old bridge where it transfers. We started putting in some concrete last summer and fall, and we'll probably go over this and show you how we did it, because it's really not that hard, and it actually looks really good. This is carved concrete, so you know, I didn't need a mold or a form or a roller or anything. Just mixed up some concrete and carved it out to look like wood. But we'll show you that in a video a little bit later. Here's some more of our concrete. We actually got the stain on this section. You can see it matches that real wood on this fence pretty darn good. You know, it wasn't that hard to do. Wasn't all that expensive really either. We're getting up here. You can see where it transfers over to real wood. It's a pretty close match. I'm happy with how that turned out. This area here, last year we had some vegetables and stuff growing here. It was mostly a patch of with Three Sisters garden in it. I want to build a greenhouse here, so I hope to get started on that soon, and you know, if not, if my plans change, then I'll put vegetables back in here. Here's one of our planter boxes. This was pretty much a salsa garden. It did pretty good for us last fall. This was actually one of my most productive areas. Need to get it cleaned out and stuff. We got anything coming up yet? Weeds. Oh, maybe right there. More weeds. I did put a few onions in here, took a few out, so I thought there might still be a few in here, but I'm not seeing them. It's okay. We'll get new stuff planted in here. Well, like I say, I hope you've been kind of observing and, you know, taking it in, seeing where the sun's hitting, seeing the shadows that are cast. You know, it's going to be different when there's leaves on it, so you want to be doing these little tours, kind of doing this redneck Zen, you know, regular. So you're learning your little ranch, even if that just be, you know, a balcony garden, couple planters, or you got a big spread. The more you're out observing these things, the more in tune you're going to be. And you're going to feel some of that hunter-gatherer spirit out in the food forest.